and welcome to the Punk Wrestling Podcast. I'm RM Punk, and today we are talking Raw. So, a few talking points from today's show. The Elimination Chamber match was announced. We got a few other title matches announced for the Elimination Chamber because Raw Creative have realised that's only 2 weeks away. We should probably put some matches on this. The biggest takeaway for me was, where's Rhea Ripley? You have this big Royal Rumble moment with Rhea and Belair to finish it. Like a star-making performance. She's clearly a star, as is Belair. And then she's not on TV for 2 weeks. Hopefully everything's good with her. And they just are saving it maybe for the Women's Elimination Chamber match. But we'll wait and see. But we'll get into all of the ins and outs of Raw this week. It was an okay show. Like I said, they're obviously scrambling to make matches for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which they did. There wasn't anything that really was like, oh my God, what is this? At the same time, there was nothing that really got me going, hey, we got a great Monday night. But yeah, we'll get into it segment by segment, break down what I liked, what I didn't like. Let me know what you think. And please give the video a like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Right, so we started off with a video package detailing Sheamus's and Drew's friendship and breakup of that friendship last week. It was a nice video package. You know, they're really great at editing these packages, but, you know, do we need to see it? It's fine. We'll see where we go with that. Kicks off Adam Pearce, and he announces, here comes the money. Shane McMahon, Colonel McSweaty Bollocks, as Ross on Cole says, he's out, and he basically is out to announce the main event of Elimination Chamber, which is going to be a world title Elimination Chamber match with Drew McIntyre. And you ask, who's in that match? Shane asks Adam Pearce, who's in that match? Well, all former champs, shall we say. We've got Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, The Miz, Sheamus, and Jeff Hardy. Now, they are all great names. It is, you look at that. But not exactly the youngest field in that they could have. Building to the future there, I see you in the Elimination Chamber this year. Don't get me wrong, I love Jeff Hardy. Is he ready to be in a world title match at this moment in time, considering his current booking? I would say probably not. The Miz. Now, again, Miz is the Money in the Bank holder, and there's a little thing that I think they could do here, which is Miz comes out the pod first, gets eliminated quite early, then later in the match comes back and reinserts himself in the match via cashing in to then lose again. And then we get rid of this whole Money in the Bank thing for this year, because last year's Money in the Bank was a complete waste of time, shall we say. AJ Styles, fair enough. Can't argue with that. I did like a little bit later on, the commentary team are like, at least in the chamber, Amos can't get involved. And Samoa Joe is like, well, I wouldn't say that, because Joe's actually been in a wrestling match, and cage matches and hair cells and all this, and knows that, no, if there's going to be interference, there's going to be interference. Randy Orton is never that far away from the title picture, so no surprises there. Sheamus obviously makes sense. That's in a storyline going on, but couldn't you have had Keith Lee, Riddle, just a couple young faces? Mustafa Ali. I think that would have been a great way for him to force himself into the match in some way, shape or form. Just something new would be good. But, Shane thanks Adam, says he's doing a great job. Seemed a little odd. Adam seemed a bit put off, like it was he was like, great idea and all this, and Adam's kind of like, huh? Like, I don't think it was Adam's idea, and he was just announcing it, and Shane's sort of putting it on to Adam for some reason. Don't know if we're building somewhere there. Shane O'Mac versus Scrap Daddy Pierce at WrestleMania. Confirmed. So Shane's on his way up, and AJ's music hits. He comes out, bit of an eyeball. AJ's all happy. He's like, "You're doing a great job. You know, I thought you was a dumbass, but this is great. This is brilliant," because he's all happy that he's in the Elimination Chamber. Shane O'Mac and Drew have a bit of a conversation as Shane's leaving in the car park. You know, would like the heads up here. You know, he's got to now defend his title. He thought he was having a one-on-one match with Sheamus. Now he's got to defend his title against 5 other people in the Elimination Chamber. Yeah, fair dues. Makes sense. Next up, you had AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy, 2010 TNA coming at you. Not much to this match. At one point, Jeff Hardy tweaks his knee off a flip, and then AJ goes to work on the knee throughout the match. There was a calf crusher, which was a rope break. Hardy, nice little touch here. Hardy can't run the ropes, so they do like an Irish whip, but Hardy just goes, which was good. I like that. But that doesn't prevent him from hitting his leg drop. A bit of signature offense there. Hits the Twist of Fate, tries to climb, but misses because he's taking too long to get up for the Swanton. And AJ hits the calf crusher for the win. Perfectly good match. No issues with that. Let's kill Jeff Hardy's momentum straight away for Elimination Chamber, shall we? But it was alright. It was good. Then we've got a backstage segment, thank you, with Keith Lee and Riddle, not Matt Riddle, Riddle, talking ahead of a match. Riddle says that he got toasty and watched Air Bud, the entire series, it's not really a series, it's a film, but all the films of the Air Bud franchise. Keith says, like, I think Bobby may have knocked the screw loose. Sure, you should carry on, like, pursuing Lashley in the title. Riddle makes some more Air Bud references about pushing through, persevering, and people didn't think he could do it and all this. Any Air Bud fans in the room? Because it went straight over my head. I know of Air Bud, but it's not exactly something I'll sit down and watch. And I've got a child, and he doesn't watch it, so I don't watch it. It's all good. All right. Lee says that maybe he should go after Lashley. Like, he's got what it takes to beat Lashley, and he's got what it takes to beat Riddle tonight. Riddle basically says, yeah, may the best man win. Okay, Riddle is great in the ring. His character right now is dog shit. I don't know how else to say that. I'm a big fan of stoner movies. I'm not a stoner myself, but I you know, Jay and Silent Bob, there's plenty of decent comedy that you can have from a stoner character. This is not it. This is not it. It's not working. Scrap it. Go back to the fact that Riddle is laid back and cool, but also a legit MMA fighter with a winning UFC record and could kick most people's ass. Just go with that. It works. We don't need to have all the weird comedy attempts that don't work. Then you got another backstage segment. I'm going to say Sheamus a lot instead of segment here. Sheamus and Pierce. Basically, what's the crack? He was told he was having a one-on-one match with Drew. He's not getting the respect he deserves. Do you think I'm not a draw? It was your idea. And again, Adam's like, yeah, that's what Shane said. There's something brewing here, and I'm not exactly feeling confident about it. But yeah, that was it, really, to that one. You then had New Day versus Slapjack and TBar. Straight away, I'm disappointed. It's not Reckoning. It's not Woods versus Reckoning. That's what we wanted. That's what everyone wanted. I I know obviously Mia is coming back from COVID. Maybe she's not quite feeling up to it yet, or she hasn't got back in the gym. You know, she's not quite ready. But I was automatically just like, oh, they didn't do it. Why didn't they do it? But yeah, so you got tag match. You've got Ali on commentary for this. That he speaks the truth. He calls New Day corporate puppets. One point during the match, he's shouting over to TBar, hurt this man like the company hurts you every day. It was good stuff on commentary. Did take away from the match a little bit, but it was good. I do love Ali on the mic. He's just brilliant. Also says time for them to eat. The New Day coming back for seconds, but you haven't eaten, in reference to, you know, New Day have been on top. They've had the titles, and now they're coming back for more, but you haven't had your chance. You haven't had your opportunity. So go get your opportunity. That's what he's trying to say, and it makes sense, and it works. I like it. But to no avail, New Day win off of Daybreak on Slapjack, of course, because Slapjack is there just to take the fall for everyone. No, it was all right. At the end, Woods is still calling out Reckoning. Ali's pissed, like, you've let me down, you've humiliated me. Woods is still going, where's Reckoning? Bring her out. I want Reckoning. Get me Reckoning. So, fingers crossed, you know. I think that'll be fun. Right, so next we had Ric Flair come out. Woo! And he was wearing a sparkly suit, which to me looked like it was wet, like a Teflon suit that had got wet. Like, it didn't really work for me with the cameras. I don't know, the lighting, whatever, but it looked like he was wearing a suit that had water coming off of it. My note says, woo, in a wetsuit. Yeah, so it's Lacey Evans and Ric Flair. Ric's impassioned red-faced promo that he's not staying at home, that, you know, Charlotte might need you, but there are other people that do need him, like Lacey. That he knows that Charlotte's the queen and doesn't need him anymore, but Lacey does. Lacey's going to be a champ. I'm going to teach her. She has the tools. We're going to train, and then she's going to get Asuka, giving Asuka notice that they're coming for the women's title. Lacey says that, yeah, I'm going to win. Like, if I beat you, I get a title match. Okay. And that she would never speak to her daddy like this. The way Charlotte speaks to Rick. Yet she's the bad one. Charlotte comes out. Rick goes to lower the rope for her, you know, like, because Charlotte's the queen and needs helping into the ring. I think as a face you should drop that. But all right, fine. But Lacey stops Rick from doing that. You know, if you really wanted to learn, you'd go back to the Performance Centre to Lacey. That she's trying to build off the Flair reputation, show that she can do it on her own. And Rick's currently just bringing it back down. The way people look at him now is not the Ric Flair. But yeah, Charlotte says, let's go for the #1 contendership match. Lacey attacks while Rick's like, no, not now, and accepts. It was just back and forth. There was just too much. It was so many different directions this stuff's going in. And following the announcement that I'll get to after this match, fills me with dread. Elimination Chamber matches are not meant to fill me with dread, but they do. There's so much dread in my eyes. Feel it, see it. It's just, So we had Lacey versus Charlotte. There were some sloppy moments in this match, but it was all right in general. The sloppiness moment, I think, it's like Charlotte comes running up to her in the corner, and I think Lacey's obviously meant to slap her, and Charlotte just waits there, and she's like, yeah, and then slap. But yeah, the finish of the match, Lacey goes for a figure four. Charlotte powers out of that, spears the living daylights out of Lacey, goes up to Rick and like, if you want to humiliate me, do it on your own time. and then just beats Lacey up and continues beating Lacey up until she gets DQ'd, giving Lacey the win by disqualification. Which means we have at the Elimination Chamber Lacey Evans versus Asuka for the title. Which I said about the dread. Which means I feel Lacey's going to win. So it's Lacey versus Charlotte at WrestleMania. Please God no. Please God no. After this whole year of Asuka being the champ, pretty much, well, since Money in the Bank, nearly a year. And she's just going to lose it to Lacey Evans. Let that sink in for a moment. Alright, so we've got Edge out again. A busy man, this guy. Give this guy a day off, and he referenced it pretty much straight away. Last week was a long week. He's been face to face with all three champions. He'd almost made his decision, but then they changed everything overnight with the Elimination Chamber announcement. He likes his odds against any of the opponents in Elimination Chamber. Doesn't like Drew's odds in the Chamber. It was alright. Perfectly good promo from Edge. Not his best work here at the beginning, but it does get better. Miz then comes out, because he's awesome, don't we know? And he comes out with Morrison and Angel Garza. So yeah, Garza's with Miz and Morrison now. I don't know when that happened. If you can let me know. Cool. Miz does the whole Money in the Bank speech. Doesn't matter who you face, so I'm going to cash in. Blah, 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 blah. Edge is like, what are you doing? You're an idiot. Like, I'm playing high stakes poker. You're playing Old Maid, which is a children's cards game. For anyone who doesn't know, and I didn't, so I had to ask. Like, I'm here playing these mind games, master manipulator with all three champions, and you just come here and tell me what you're going to do. You're an idiot. After that, we had Garza versus Priest. And Bad Bunny's at ringside with Priest, and Miz and Morrison at ringside with Garza. It was an okay match. Garza threw his pull-away trousers at Bad Bunny. Towards the end of the match, Miz and Morrison are getting involved throughout, obviously, because it's Miz and Morrison. To combat this, Bad Bunny nicks the Money in the Bank briefcase, goes up to where they are and like, look, I got this. So they start chasing him, and he throws the briefcase into the ring. Morrison runs into the ring to get the briefcase. Ref sees him there holding the briefcase. He throws out Miz and Morrison. And then Bad Bunny continues to distract Garza to allow Priest to win. Now, I spoke about this last week. Right? Priest is new to Raw. He's getting a little push in the storyline, but he needs Bad Bunny to win at the moment. It could be done better. Like, I'm happy. It's all good. It was quite enjoyable. Obviously, it's nice to see a proper star. Like, Bad Bunny is a star. I might not know who he is. Like I said before, I'm an old fart. I know nothing about music past 2004. But he is a big star, and he's here week after week. Like, he's apparently training at the Performance Center. He's putting the work in. It will be a tag match at WrestleMania. No doubt in my mind in that one. But I think Priest needs to make sure that he's winning clean, and Bad Bunny's not giving him wins. We get a Drew interview. You know, we're on the road to WrestleMania. They're putting all the chips against me. Sheamus could have just asked for a match and I would have given it to him. He didn't have to throw away our friendship for it. But he's focusing on Orton tonight. He's backed into a corner. He's got 5 opponents in the Elimination Chamber. He's got Edge, the Royal Rumble winner. Miz with the Money in the Bank. He's been backed into a corner. Will he crack? No, he will fight, because he's a wild animal and he'll tear everyone apart. Good promo, perfectly good. No problems there, no qualms, shall we say. We get a Belair interview. You know, it's her time. A smart challenger doesn't reveal crowd straight away. Complete opposite of what she said on SmackDown when she was like, people are telling me to wait, but I want to tell everyone. Like, okay, yeah, you don't know yet. Fine, cool. Asuka comes out to the interview. They're all backstage. Enters the interview, congratulates her. She's top of the world, but doesn't mean she's ready for Asuka. Belair says she is ready for Asuka, but Lacey is not. Fine. Yeah. I do feel Asuka needs to get more serious. Just my opinion. I love her. She's great. She's funny. But I want Asuka to kill you. I want Asuka to kill people. Go for it. Right, we've got Riddle versus Keith Lee. MVP's on commentary for this one. It was a good match. It was quite a good match. Obviously, it's Riddle versus Keith Lee. It's going to be a good match. I do feel that Keith Lee slowed down a touch. Like, he was acting more monstery, if that makes sense. But in the end, Lee did win with a Spirit Bomb. Perfectly good match. Lee and Riddle shake hands. Lashley attacks, hits a massive spine buster on Lee. Hurtlog on Riddle. Rams a steel steps to Lee's face and stands tall to end the segment. Later on, we get told that it will not be Keith Lee versus Lashley, but it will be a triple threat match at Elimination Chamber for the United States title. All right, we'll give Keith Lee the United States title. I've not got a problem with that. You can have it like Keith Lee versus Lashley feud will be good. Yep, fine. There was an odd moment at the end of the match where MVP was on commentary the whole time. You get all the beat down, all that stuff. And then MVP's coming from Gorilla to the stage to pose with MVP with his little chain. It's like maybe he forgot the chain and he had to go back and get it. Or he went out the back forgetting that he was meant to do a thing with Lashley at the end. I don't know. It was just one of those moments where you're like, wait, you were just out here. Why have you gone back and... Alright, whatever. There was recap of the Randy and Drew story because we have Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, the main event of Raw in 2021 for the first time ever in 2021. We had plenty last year. But before that, we had a tables match. Nia versus Lana. Sweeping Twitter today is... Oh my hole. Oh my hole. Yeah, we had a tables match. Nia versus Lana. We get a recap of Lana going for all the tables last year. Nia hit a power choke bomb thing a couple times, safely, might I add. Completely different way than when she hit it on Dana Brooke. Nia just dismantling Lana, bit of a hit and run from Lana. Ends when Nia goes for a leg drop on the apron. Lana moves out the way, and Nia just screams, "Ah, my butt! Ah, my butt! Ah, my hole!" and then gets pushed for a table. Lana won. Oh dear. Yeah. Interestingly, if you watch it on YouTube, Nia's "Oh My Hole" has been cut out of the match. But it's still trending on Twitter. So that's how you forget. After the match, Shayna attacks Lana, but Naomi steps in with a disaster kick, which missed by a country mile. Back from break, Shayna versus Naomi. Bit of a speed versus power match. Shayna works the arm, gets a nice transition from into Kafuna clutch for a rope break. Shayna rolls outside, just starts beating up Lana for no apparent reason. Comes back in the ring, gets rolled up for the 3. It was what it was. Those two could have had a really great match, and it wasn't that. Now we get to the main event, Orton versus Drew. Is Drew's new thing hitting other people's moves? Because he hit the spear on Goldberg, makes perfect sense, fine. He tried for the draping DDT quite early on in this match, and it looked like he was going for the RKO before the end of the match. I'm not complaining, just one of those sort of things I noticed. But yeah, it was okay. Early on, Sheamus music hits, causing Randy to get the upper hand for a bit of back and forth. Orton hit the superplex and the draping DDT. The RKO gets countered into the future shock DDT. Sheamus goes for a brogue on Drew, but Randy moves Drew out the way and takes the bro kick. So it hits the future shock DDT, and Drew's like standing over Orton, like all fired up. So that's what makes me think he's going for the RKO, because he's not in position for a Claymore. And Randy pushes him out of the way, gets bro kicked, then Drew hits the Claymore on Sheamus to close the show. Yeah, so that was Raw. Raw was alright. It was okay. I'm talking about it. It was okay. There were some moments I liked, some moments I didn't like. I'm not overly like, woo, Elimination Chamber, but they added some matches. So the matches, the Elimination Chamber main event, Lacey versus Asuka, and Riddle, Lashley, Keith Lee, triple threat for the US title. So, you know, they should be good matches. Little talk, I watched Raw Talk, and I would advise you to go watch Raw Talk if you love good promos. Ali cut a great promo on Raw Talk, cut Truth's silliness like off brilliantly. You know, like Ali's talking about racial equality and people getting there, and you can't, you call me Mufasa, like, says since Cena isn't here, New Day is the best example of corporate puppets he can focus on. He speaks the truth. He's taken that from Truth. Like, Truth doesn't speak the truth. I speak the truth. I'm the truth. Says that New Day opened the door to opportunity, but shut it straight behind them. Says, say it with a chest, Kofi, but you don't have one. You will understand our pain. It was just really good. I'm not going to go into every detail about it, 'cause it wasn't even on Raw. It was on Raw Talk, but it was good, and I'd advise you to go watch it. It was one of those moments you're like, yeah, just really good. So yeah, let me know what you thought of Raw. Let me know that I'm an old bastard who is grumpy all the time when it was all right. But yeah, or agree with me, you know, one or two. But whatever you do, like, share and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at RMPunk Podcast. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.